Bonafide Hustler here, coming to you live from my office. Welcome to my channel. On a part-time basis, I am flipping items that I find from garage sales, estate sales, yard sales, flea markets, pawn shops, swap meets, big box stores, and I put it on places like eBay, Amazon, Craigslist, my antique booth, and other consignment stores in town. I'm one of the co-owners of the greenroomuniversity.com. Definitely go check that out. It's the second link down below. In today's show, I'm going to show you 5 amazing items that are going to end up hopefully on my Road to 200 thing. Now, if you don't know what the Road to 200 thing, and I'm going to be creating a playlist probably right after this video is done, and I really hope to add to this playlist throughout the year on updates on the Road to 200, and hopefully, if I'm lucky, get some sales update videos, maybe something like that. But anyways, the Road to 200 is basically a concept that I dreamt up about fourth quarter last year, and in that thought process, I think it was me and College Picker, we were just like, you know what? Instead of just not being excited to do eBay or not being excited to resell in general some items on eBay, we decided that, you know, in order to get that fervor back, in order to get that excitement back, that energy back in the game, and to really treat it like a business, and we were treating it like a business before, but to really treat it like a business and bring the least amount of hours to get the maximum amount of profit out of it, we decided to go somewhere between 100 and 200 quality, amazing items in our store. And that's going to be the quest of this year for me, is to attain a 20 or 30% sell-through rate with really no more than 200 items in my eBay store. So if you're down to join the journey with me, please subscribe to my channel. Please subscribe to also Eric Spears' channel, also known as the College Picker. Go check out that channel. He does updates on things that he sells, and I think at this point right now, he's where I am. We are starting to purge out some crappy inventory that we just don't feel aligns with our strategy whatsoever. So originally, we joked with each other like we should have a race to 200 or something like that. Now, I'm not, as much as I would like to race to 200, a lot of times when you race somewhere, you try to attain a certain amount of listings in a week or listings in a day that's just out of, you know, some crazy goal that you know that is semi-unattainable. What happens is you try to source in that way too, and it can lead you to bending your rules and making some bad decisions just because you want to race to a number. A lot of times when people list to a certain number, it's you know, you sacrifice quality. The quality of the listing goes downhill. But yeah, you might, you know, pump out a bunch of listings, and that's great. But if the quality of the listing is not there, what good is it, right? If it's not optimized the way it needs to be, if it has some mistakes, I mean, you're just exposing yourself to not only customer messages behind the scenes, but maybe customer returns. And also you could be exposing yourself to all kinds of things later down the road. I mean, just, just things that, how do I say it? A lot of people don't see that quality over quantity is really the way to go with eBay. And that's the entire essence of Road to 200, is to really come back to the roots of what an eBay business should be. And that should be A, fun, B, really good items, and C, being able to sell something like nearly every single day. Like, you know, that's really, really important. I come in contact with a lot of people behind the scenes that are just like, you know, take a look at my store. Can you give me some pointers? And a lot of the times, I see people reselling very, very common goods. And that's not good, because common goods, with very, very common goods with not really good potential markets, or not good profitable markets. Let me correct myself, okay? So there are plenty of items out there that can sell really good for like 10, 15 bucks, you know, 20 bucks. That's fine. But like after all the shipping is done, the eBay cost, the PayPal fee, all that kind of stuff, you're left with, you know, what? Like what are you left with for the amount of time that you put into that item, not to mention how long you've kept it, and you know, how much space it takes up in your place? Because eBay is not like Amazon FBA. You actually have to physically hold these items. So you have to start thinking about these kind of things. And I believe I have, you know, a fair amount of people that are definitely on board with this Road to 200 concept. And you don't need to be to 200 listings. If you are a person that has 1,000 listings and you find yourself in this scenario and you're like, you know what, this kind of sucks, I just don't feel good about eBay anymore, eBay just seems like it's dead. A lot of times it's not dead. It's because there's not frequent input into eBay. There's not you know, a good market on your items, and there could be a, you know, plethora of different things. But a lot of times what I have found out is that it stems from the item itself. okay? So that's really, really important to consider when you're looking at these 5 items, and I'm gonna show you today that I have looked at the markets. I'm okay with 1 to 3 month sell-through rates. I'm at 1 to 2.5 months, I think, each one of these things. One of these items could go on eBay and definitely yield me what I want, but I believe I'm probably going to send it to FBA. So maybe I should change the title to 4 amazing items, right? But anyways, it's still pretty cool. It was the very first thing that I found as I walked into a thrift store today. The whole essence behind Road to 200, for me at least, is to crank somewhere between 2 and 3,000 pure profit. Okay, pure profit after all the fees and shipping and all that kind of stuff out of the picture. 2 to 3,000 with a 20 to 30% sell-through rate with a store that's really close to about 200 listings. So that means for me, having items that are about $50 in pure profit, like no matter what. $50 in pure profit, if I sell 1 or 2 of those items a day, you can imagine if I get to 2 a day, that's about $100 a day times 30 days in a month, that's $3,000 right there. And that's what I'm sort of looking like. And it's really important to have a goal when you're messing with eBay. I think people find themselves in a really bad place when they just start sourcing and they fill up carts to the rafters and they're really proud of it. They take all these cool pictures and they put it on, various sites and Instagram and Facebook, this and that. And then they don't realize A, the work behind it, B, how long it's going to take to sell all that kind of stuff. And a majority of the people that are messing with stuff at that scale, they don't have any workers with them. So essentially you are drowning in your eBay business. You have no chance to get out, to even rethink your strategy, to maybe think about another avenue to pursue, right? Like merch or Amazon or private label or wholesale, whatever it may be, right? But you have like zero time to even think about that kind of stuff. So for me, my main thing is to paying this $2,000 or $3,000 with really not exceeding 16 hours a week, something like that. If I can get to to 20 hours, okay, like maybe that's worth it. But if I can get to 16 hours a week, you can imagine that 16 hours a week times whatever I make out of the entire project, it should be worth somewhere between $50 to $100 an hour is essentially what I'm getting paid. So that's pretty good. I like that all day. I'll take it all day. So, okay. Anyways, I want to shout out some people that are in the feed. If you're lucky enough to catch a live show, that is awesome. I begin my mornings. I really should begin my mornings by crushing the thing that I want to work on the most, which is something else outside of eBay. Honestly, it's something I'm working on behind the scenes, but I don't. Like I start the morning, I get out of the gym at 7:30, 7:40. I'm at the coffee shop. I'm planted down. Everything's all set up by 8 o'clock, and I spend about 30 minutes getting back to people on Facebook and getting back to people on YouTube comments. So I don't know how much longer I can do that. But one of the perks of watching this thing live is the fact that I'm going to be able to go into the comments and answer your questions, on a much faster and larger scale. So I can't promise that I'm always going to have the time to do that other thing, but I try to do it for you guys because it's the right thing to do. And for the people that are like really perked up about the Road to 200 concept, I feel as if I should give some of my time to you guys in the morning to explain a couple things out, right? So let me give some shout outs to some people that are here live, and that's cool. So typically if you're like, oh, I wonder when Bonafide Hustler goes live, it's somewhere between 1 and 3 o'clock, Monday through Friday. Typically if I have the time, that's when it's going to be. Let me shout out Mike Lindquist, Matt Jackson, JJ Marley, Edward Lamborghini, Flip the Thrift. We have Kenneth in the house, Miner's Treasures. I've met some of these people in real life. Thriller Gorilla Picka, that's what's up, man. Girl on Fire. Joe Molina, all kinds of good people here in the feed. Hey, I have a question for you guys. Who is watching this during work hours? Go ahead. I don't care if you are, but if you are, that's like hella funny. So who is watching during work hours? I was thinking about this yesterday while I was doing cardio. I was like, you know what? Like, I wonder how many people actually watch me during work. And I wonder if work has no clue what's going on, that someone that's there, that they're employing is just watching my channel. So anyways, we got Mike Raleigh, Search for Deal, Jen Talbot, all watching at work time. So that's great. Okay. And I mean work, like not eBay work, but like during real work, like paycheck work. Okay. So you guys ready to see the 5 items? Let's do this. Oh man, that's so funny. Okay. Oh, working from home. Yeah. If you're an entrepreneur and you watch me, that's cool. I get it. Okay. So I'm going to start with the, I would love to say I found all these items today, but I didn't, right? One of these was found yesterday. So here's the first one. And I bought this one because typically when I get into things like this, they're really fast sellers. I bought this one, and I will openly and honestly admit that this one bends my rules a little bit, but that's okay because I'm not going to do this a whole lot. I'm not going to bend my rules a ton. I sold an item today that I bent my rules for that I sourced probably a week and a half ago. So that kind of gives you context. When I bend my rules, I'm looking at a really, really short window to flip the item, okay? The item that sold today was a pair of cool shorts. They sold for like 38 and some change. $4 in shipping. So yeah, 38. It's somewhere around $5 between PayPal and eBay. Final value fees. $4 in shipping. There's $9. I bought them for like $6. I think it was $6. So 6 plus 9, that's 15. Sold them for 38. You can do the math. It's about $24, right? So $24, $23, something like that is what I made. Totally bent my rules for that one, but just to give you the context of like, if I don't want you guys to bend your rules if you're going to do this road to 200 thing, but I do it when I know there's something that is super, super fast turning. So I think this is going to be one of those things where I had to bend my rules. That's why I bought it. This was bought for $4. This is a Works charger. It's actually the crappiest of the crappiest chargers in lithium batteries of all time. But it still has good money. I don't mean it's crappy like that. I mean, like when you look at power tools and you look at chargers and you look at lithium batteries, Works is going to be towards the bottom end, right? It's going to be down there with Toro and just really, mass-produced consumer grade like utility function tools. It could be as simple as this can go into a drill, it can go into a leaf blower, random stuff. If you look at Black & Decker or Toro, like they have all the kind of same stuff, but they're just producing this stuff on a much larger scale than companies like Ryobi, Milwaukee, DeWalt, things like that. And those companies are like, if you find the charger and a battery with it, right? And some of them are very interesting looking. The really good ones are going to have buttons that you can press and it'll show you how much battery levels left on the battery. It'll show you all kinds of information. And so those are typically found with, like I said, Milwaukee, DeWalt, all those really, really awesome brands, Makita, and so Ryobi. So these are kind of like the lower grade ones. So Works charger with a 20-volt lithium battery. If you're going to be hustling these things, just because I showed you some cord with some charger thing and some battery, do not just start buying some cord, some charger, and some battery thing, okay? Lithium is the main key here, okay? Lithium. So very, very important. Let me give a shout out real quick to someone that just paid me like beer money, it seems like. JJ Marley, I want to guide my roommate into reselling. What video should he watch of yours? Man, I got a ton of videos, JJ Marley, a ton of videos on my channel. There's like 700 videos on there. I would say go to my playlists, and I have playlists that are dedicated towards ride-alongs, playlists that are dedicated towards eBay stuff, and playlists that are dedicated, I think, towards Amazon. So start with the playlist first, and that'll help you hone in your friend on finding the exact content that he needs on my channel. Because it can, with 700 videos, the navigation can get kind of crazy. So in the past month or 2 months, I've actually worked hard on trying to playlist everything together. And so it's for people like you guys right there. So JJ Marley, thank you for the money. And here's something that you can get for your friend for free. It's sitting down below. I'll toot my own horn because we did create this with the green room. But go check it out. It's down below. It's the first link, and it's going to jumpstart this person into getting 100 amazing items to resell. Study this guide back and forth. Go out to garage sales this weekend and go crush it. So the Works charger, lithium battery, okay? 20-volt lithium. They're all going to say lithium or some sort of lithium this, lithium that. It might have like, different kinds of fonts, but essentially lithium is like, you don't want to mess with nickel cadmium or any kind of, you don't want to mess with that kind of stuff. Those things lose charge, and nobody cares about those. So like, if you really want to make money in this segment, you're going to want to get the charger, and they're going to look different. All the chargers look different. In fact, this is the crappiest looking charger of all time. Most chargers are going to be like a dock style charger. They're going to be something that looks like a big rectangle that has like rubber feet, and it has, a place where the battery can slide in. Okay. So this is more of it attaches to the battery. And yeah, so this is a Works one, crappy one, $4. And I believe if everything goes right, I should be able to sell this thing for like 35, 40 bucks. So kind of like the same play as those cool shorts. That's why I'm bending my rules for this. The last time I've had Works stuff or any kind of this kind of thing, it lasts like a couple days, a week, something like that. So I'm gonna bend the rules for that one. And so there you go. And it's all right. So, oh, Miner's Treasures in the feed. What's up, Tim? Good to see you. He was on a ride along with me before. That was cool. Adam Machine says, "Hey, Bonafide, thanks for all you do in Rake-In as well. I started 2 years ago selling clothes on eBay. I just did 74,000 this year part time. That's freaking crazy, dude. Awesome. And by the way, hey, if you guys ever want to get a Cheddar Weather shirt, you know where to find it. There's some links down below. Go check them out because this is one of the better designed ones that Glenn did for me. But I'm really proud of it. I love it. And it's just that whole like 80s thing. I'm an 80s kid, right? And I don't care what anybody says. It was the best decade of all time, right? It's before the advent of cell phones and all this stuff when people actually talked to each other and like arcades were cool and like malls were cool. And it was before Amazon Prime and like, it's before all this stuff destroyed all the cool stuff, basically. I'm not going to be a sourpuss or like be that like hater dude that like, you know, but trust me, if you lived in the 80s, like you knew that was the time of all times. It was right around when video games were starting to get mad popular, you know, like the bringing on of Nintendo back in like the late 80s. Like that's when I think kids really started staying inside more. And that's where things kind of started going south, at least in my eyes. So anyways, if you didn't live in the 80s, just trust me, if there happens to be a time machine somewhere in the future built, just go back to the 80s, dude. Go back to the 80s. And then if you're smart enough, go back to the 80s, get a film camera and create Back to the Future. Go back to the 80s and film some cool films and yeah, and bet on some World Series, right? Okay, so the next item that I bought today was from a Salvation Army. It's, you know, I was thinking today, and this is why you don't want to do this, but I was thinking today, like, man, I really need to write off this Salvation Army because I never find anything there. Now, I know you guys and gals out there probably know exactly what I'm talking about. There's a thrift store on the route, and you're just like, dude, I never find anything there, but you go there because it's close to whatever else you're doing next to it or an errand nearby. But you never seem to find something there. So I was nearly about to write this one off. Like I was like, ooh, you know, I don't like this thrift store whatsoever. It's a Salvation Army. It's big as hell. Takes forever to walk around. But I decided to go in. So I was like, cool. I go in, and within a minute of me going in, thank God I didn't write this one off, I found this really cool helmet. So I'm not saying buy any helmet, okay? But this one right here is a neat Giro. In fact, from far away, all I saw was this. Okay, would you guys get perked up if you saw this way in the distance, man? I didn't even know this thing was Giro, and way in the distance, I was like, ooh, like I know something already, right? So I can deduct a couple things just by looking at it from far away. One of those things is I see a clip back here, right? See this little clip? Okay, that's a clip for the back of ski goggles, ski or snowboard goggles. The second you see something like this, typically that helmet is going to be snow and ski related, okay? So that's one thing that you already know. If you see the clip behind there, and the clips are all gonna look different on Giro helmets or, you know, red helmets or whatever brand that you see the clip, you should automatically be thinking ski and snow. Now, if you don't see the clip, which it's like nearly impossible because they all have clips, and you see these earmuff pieces right here, these are removable ear warming pieces. All right, they're found on really good helmets as well. You get a padded chin strap. That's just an extra bonus right there. So we got a padded chin strap that goes right under here, and you know, it makes it, you know, with all the shredding that you do, a padded chin strap is definitely going to be a plus. You get a rotating wheel back here. That's another plus. This is usually only found on really high-end mountain biking helmets or high-end road biking helmets or high-end ski and snowboarding helmets. Okay, so you rotate the wheel, right? You press it in and it allows the wheel to rotate, but if you were to just try to rotate it, it usually doesn't budge. But if you press it down, it has like a button, sorry about that. It has a button and it can rotate. And this basically is the final cinching device. Once you have the straps all in line, everything's good, you put this thing on your head, you rotate it, and you definitely want to check these things out because where helmets fail is typically in this one area in here, okay? So in here, you know, just because you find this helmet, get excited, that's cool, but don't lose your mind because you still have to do some checks. And one of those checks that you have to do besides doing that rotating thing is you got to look inside the helmet to test for any cracks or visible, see if you see any visible cracks. You want to press the helmet together like this, all right? And make sure there's no play, that's good. And visibly look for cracks on the helmet because the helmet could be pristine on the outside. I mean, totally pristine. This one's awesome. I did clean it for like 30 seconds, but perfect condition. But that doesn't mean that there's not an underlying issue underneath all this neat plastic, right? So you got to visibly look for cracks. Very important. The second thing is this entire, you know, there's some padding in the helmet. which ideally, if you're going to try to hustle a helmet and flip it on eBay, you're going to want to make sure that that stuff is not sweated out, rotted out, crispy. You want to make sure it's nice and plush and doesn't have any unbelievably nasty sweat stains. All right, and then once you're done doing that, you have to understand that there's also kind of like an inner brace that conforms to your head. It's made out of plastic, and on the outside of that plastic are the pads. And then on the other side of that plastic is the actual styrofoam of the helmet. So you can kind of see that stuff right here. See this right here? It's like a plastic skeleton thing that meshes with the styrofoam of the helmet, and then the sticky parts and everything go to that. And those sticky parts on the other end have these pads, right? You want to make sure that that plastic holding piece inside the helmet is not cracked in any way, because it's quite common on mountain biking helmets to find cracked pieces like that. It will not allow for decent tensioning. It will definitely be seen. It'll definitely be a return if someone finds any cracked piece of the inner plastic part of a helmet. So anyways, this helmet today was $4. I did use a student discount for an ID that I still have in my wallet from back in my MBA days. But that's okay. That's for another time. Whether that's morally correct or not, I don't know. But, you know, I did. But yeah, it's a good helmet. So believe it or not, this helmet back in the day, like what, 2015 or 2016, was somewhere between $150 and $200. It's considered by Giro to be like the best of the best of the best ski and snowboarding helmet that they ever produced. Has 14 vent holes, and you'll know a really quality helmet because if it has these little toggle switches on top which close the vent holes, see this vent hole right here? Watch this. If I pull this thing down, watch that vent hole. You can see how it closes, and they all close. See, like these are all open right here and right here. All right, when I do that, they close. And the same thing with the front. See, I can go like this. They're all open, maximum ventilation. That's only found on super, super high-end helmets. For you know, just doesn't matter if you're looking at motorcycle helmets or ski and snowboard helmets. You're never going to find that feature on really crappy items. So, anyways, a $4 helmet. You know, there's some soles that are, you know, someone took best offer around 60s and 70s and stuff like that. I do feel if I list this thing for around 60 to 80 bucks, I think it'll be okay. And plus it's a helmet, so you know it's not going to weigh very much. So I'd assume that this thing probably won't go out for anything over $8. And I do live in Austin, Texas, to be considered, right? It's the middle part of the country, so I do get a little bit of an advantage when it comes to shipping. So if you are in the furthest end of the USA, I think you're going to be okay though, because if you're in either end of the USA, someone's going to need a snowboarding helmet. We still got spring break season coming up, and people definitely go skiing and snowboarding for that. So I think it's a safe buy. You know, definitely look for helmets like this. You know, my videos are always about tutoring you guys and teaching you guys and gals about what to buy and how to buy it, right? And how to do the proper checks. I mean, I get comments every single day like, couldn't you make these videos 5 minutes? Like, and honestly, I could, but then I would be hella responsible for you guys, you know, messing up the entire thing. You have to know how to do this in order to make the money and to keep the product out there, because that's the goal, right? You want to ship the product out. You don't want this product coming back to you. And I guarantee you that if you don't know how to do the checks properly, if you don't know the reason why something should sell more than something else, if you don't know why sell similar or sell one like this is like literally the most important thing that you can do on eBay when you sell something, if you don't know why a quality market trumps everything, you know, then you're not going to make it. You're setting yourself up for failure. So anyways, that was definitely one of the finds. People are just like, I get comments sometimes like, damn dude, like you talk so much about one thing. And that's because if I'm going to put myself forward and my reputation forward, I want to make sure that you guys remember, like when you make money on those flips, that you remember me and go, you know what, like that dude totally helped me out. Like I will buy, you know, I'll go join his green room. I'll buy one of his shirts. I'll buy his next guide. And that's really important. So that's how I'm thinking. Okay. Anyway, Hoovy the Real is definitely quoting something from the movie that I made a reference to earlier. Okay. Yeah, 80s was the best, dude, for real. Okay, so we have, and this thing smells so good. I just realized it. Wow. Holy moly. I just realized that these shoes smell terrific. Like they smell better than new. I didn't realize it till just now. And I'm like, holy crap, someone with really good cologne just walked into my room, but there's no one in this room. So it's clearly the shoes. I can't believe I'm doing this. It actually smells super good. Okay, so these right here, anyone take a guess what kind of shoes these are? Why are these so popular, okay? I'm gonna let some comments come in. because this is all about learning, and I'm gonna give you guys a fair chance to tell me what's so interesting about these shoes. All right, if I show you the back of it, you might get it pretty quickly. But anyways, there's the back. All right, there that is. Why does this shoe have a big following? Why does this shoe command sold prices of 50 and above? Let me know. What do you think? Now, if you're into like fitness and stuff, you're probably going to get this pretty quickly. All right. So, what do we got? Someone said they are fly knit, which is actually incorrect. They are fly wire, but they're not fly knit. Fly knit is almost like a perfectly mesh, almost like a sock on top of a body. And when it comes to workout shoes, fly knit shoes are great. Okay, let me take that back. They do make a fly knit trainer, which has some of this like reinforcing kind of stuff all over the sock material. But fly knit typically means like a extremely soft, like sock almost body for the main upper part, right, of the shoe, not the sole, but the main upper part. But typically fly knit shoes have an issue with anything outside of just straight line walking or running. Like if you want to shift around, do plyometric stuff, and do agility type stuff, you definitely don't want to be in a fly knit shoe because your foot basically rolls right off the sole, which is that's how you roll an ankle pretty good. So you definitely want to get shoes that have Kevlar reinforcements like Reebok does on some of their stuff, or shoes like this, okay? And so this is a very purpose-made shoe. Yes, so, okay, so here we go. Joe Molina and Jockme FRE3 are both very, very close. So this right here is what's called a Metcon. Now, Metcon was Nike's answer to a very growing market that originated from CrossFit, which is what Reebok totally capitalized on. So Reebok back in the day, let's say 10 years ago, right, they had two types of shoes for CrossFit. One was for more Olympic style lifting. So if you're doing an Olympic based CrossFit workout, you would buy what's called the CrossFit lifter shoe, okay? And the bottom of the lifter shoe, and in fact, I saw one today. I didn't buy it though because the prices have eroded on that one. But the lifter shoe has a solid plastic body right here, no sponging like back here. It's all plastic and it looks really weird, like a little zigzag pattern. Extremely, extremely flat sole right here. Massive amounts of grip, and the maximum amount of drive from your feet to the floor occur when you have a shoe like that. They're extremely planted, great for squats, great for deadlifts. So, and great for anything clean press, whatever, like Olympic-based workouts, OLY. It's all called OLY, right? That's their abbreviation. So 10 years ago, huge market. Brought on by, people like Rich Froning and all these CrossFit champions. Like they literally brought the lifter shoe just in the forefront of everyone like that wanted to like learn more about CrossFit. And then they were also building these shoes called CrossFit Nano shoes, which look kind of like this. So a CrossFit Nano shoe is a little bit more flexible and it's good for like burpees and like running 1 mile or whatever. It's a little bit more pliable, and so you can actually shift around a whole bunch, and that's probably the more sought after shoe between the two. So CrossFit Nano shoe or CrossFit Lifter, they were all made by Reebok and they still make them to this day, and they're great shoes. But Nike answered to that with a shoe called the Metcon, right? I think there's Metcon 1, there's Metcon 2. I think they might be on Metcon 4 now. So someone do me a favor and just check that out real quick on eBay. Is it Metcon 3 or Metcon 4? Like, what's the latest one out? Anyways, these are Metcon 2s, okay? So these are basically weightlifting shoes, but essentially they're CrossFit shoes, okay? So they're really good gym shoes, extremely sticky rubber. In fact, it says like sticky rubber right here. Extremely sticky rubber, like zero, shifting going on. A really awesome reinforcement right here. So it allows, you can, like I said, like when you do these like side shifting movements and stuff, you don't want your foot rolling off the main sole of the shoe. So there's all this reinforcement you can see right here that doesn't allow for any of that to happen, whether you're going a front movement, back movement, side to side, like all these things are reinforced. Okay, so here's something that's really cool about the Metcon 2 that was not there on the Metcon 1, and that is for handstand push-ups. When people, I don't know if you guys even know what I'm talking about, but sometimes people do handstand push-ups. They essentially get into a handstand, they put their back of their feet on a wall, and then the back of the heel drags up and down the wall, and sometimes that causes damage. It can also cause friction, right? So your handstand push-up doesn't go up and down quite effectively because it's essentially a rubber sole going up and down, scratching a wall. So they answered to that with the Metcon II, which wasn't there on the lifter shoe or even on the Nano shoe that Reebok made. They decided like go one step further, and so they built this little plastic thing at the end right here. You can see it's like clear plastic. See that thing right here? And that is literally meant only for handstand push-ups, okay? So by the time you've jacked up and you're hitting a wall, right? And you're upright like this, so your body's like down here and you're up in the handstand position, this part makes contact with the wall, right? And it allows the shoe to go up and down with no resistance whatsoever because that part is the only part that hits the actual wall. You can see it right there, see? Isn't that crazy? So anyways, don't ask me why I know so much about this stuff, but I do. So yeah, these are Metcon 2s. They actually are in my size, so I figured this is going to be one of those interesting hustles. If I don't get exactly the price that I want, then I am definitely going to keep these because I work out fair enough and I do squats, deadlifts, whatever, and I shift around, do all kinds of plyometric workouts and HIIT workouts. And so this is like the perfect kind of shoe. But if you ask me like, what kind of shoe do you wear right now? The answer actually is a $24 pair, thrifted from Savers, a $24 pair of blue Reebok Nanos. I actually found some, right? My brother found them. They were mint condition, gave them to me, 24 bucks. So I essentially bought them for like 66% off or something like that. But that's what I wear now, and they're great. And they are made of Kevlar, like reinforced bodies and everything. It's super awesome. I can shift around as much as I want. I can do whatever I want. That shoe will deliver. But this shoe is just like kind of like the next generation, right? It's a little bit more stylish, better looking. A little bit more purpose built, and definitely flexes pretty good too. So anyways, these right here, the price that I'm shooting for, I bought them for 18 bucks. The price I'm going to be shooting for is somewhere between $70 and $100. So if I get 80 bucks out of it, then yeah, I'm getting really close to my $50 mark. If I get $70 for them, then with shipping and everything, I'm like at the $37 mark, something like that. So there we go. All right. Metcon 2s. If you have a suspicion of like, hey, I think those might be Metcon 2s, first of all, if you see this little plastic thing on the very back, all right, that clear plastic thing, you're dealing with Metcon 2, 3, and 4, okay? So there you go. I'm pretty sure they all have that now, but I know Metcon 1 did not. So, and then on top of that, if you're like, oh, I don't know what the hell, is it a Metcon or not? Just pull the tongue, boom, and it says Metcon like right there. This shoe smells so good. I swear they're up to 4 now, but anyways, you can see that it says Metcon right there. See? All right, so it's a Metcon 2. Hey, Metcon 2 is good. They really did well with Metcon 2. My wife actually bought 2 pair of Metcon 2s. She spent $140 for each one of those shoes. That's nuts, right? But that's essentially, if you want to get certain colorways, that's what you kind of spend. You spend between like 100 and 140 bucks for these like really neat colorways. And they kind of get you like that. I mean, if you want a shoe that stands out, that you can work out in, plus you look stylish in, man, Nike really crushed it with that shoe. So anyway, okay. That's the reason why I spent 18 bucks on them. Someone's like, very cool, you need them. I might need them. I'm not 100% sure yet. I do like the colorway, so we will see. So Jacob Schertzinger says, I'm setting up a weight bench listening to the Master Workout Hustler. Hey man, thanks a lot. Great compliment right there. I might actually do a workout video after this, like a live one in my gym. So I don't know yet, but it'll be on my other channel. So if you don't know what my other channel is, please go check it out. It's called Bod Damn. It's a play on words. But yeah, go subscribe. Oh man, Clarence Ninja beat me. So what's so interesting about these? Second pair I found actually in a month. These are in great condition. I would say that they've probably been used twice. All right. So what's so great about these? Clarence Ninja totally figured it out. Okay. So these are basically snake-proof boots. You can classify them with like hunting and stuff like that. But snake-proof is definitely one of the keywords. Viper cloth, all right, is another keyword you're going to want to use if you happen to find these boots that look just like this. Now, originally, when you see a boot like this, you might be thinking CC Filson. They could be Orvis. They're not. They're actually made by a company called Chippewa. All right, Chippewa, something like that, whatever. These are actually size 8. Yeah, size 8, style 23913. Sal 23913 sells between 100 and about 140 bucks on eBay. So I got these today for $10 out the door. And yeah, great compliments, by the way. Oreo Kid says, Bonafide Hustler, I'm eating pizza and watching the best. Thanks, man. I really do appreciate that. But yeah, so Chippewa right here, they got Vibram undersoles. The reason I can say comfortably that these have probably been used once or twice is if you look in at the bottom, we have definitely a nubs on nubs situation. It's what I call a shoe that has the primary nubs showing plus the other nubs. When the primary nubs show, that's freaking sweet. If the secondary nub below the primary nub is there, then that's good. And it definitely shows you the wear and tear of a shoe. In fact, if you look at the heel, I don't know if this camera is going to show you, but we have that nubs on nubs situation in here, right? Look at this right here. Okay, see that part right there? See those little nubbies on the other nubby? So that's really showing you that these have been used like barely, like anything. But they do have some wear marks right here, and whoever used them might have been on a 4-hour hunt or whatever, like walking through all this brush for many hours. So they do have some, you know, some slices, some cuts, but this is such tough leather that it would take literally like an atom bomb to go through this shoe. So nice shoe, Viper cloth, snake proof, Chippewa men's 8D, boom. If I have, you know, 10 characters left for the listing, then I'll put something else in there, but I'll probably put hunting as well. They're in great condition. I'll be shooting for somewhere between that 100 and 140 mark. And then with everything all said and done, I would assume that these are going to be between a month and 2 to sell. I would think if everything goes well, I'd be able to eke out, best case scenario, $100 on that pure profit. Worst case scenario, probably about 70. So that's what I'm thinking right now. Anyway, Chippewa. Rhonda W says, I want to come to Austin to source. Let me tell you something real quick. Austin sucks so bad. Don't ever come to this town. You'll never find anything. It's the worst town ever for thrifting. Worst town ever for garage selling. This town is the worst. The worst. Like every other town's better than this town. Don't come here. So anyways, I know Clarence Ninja's saying list them at 150 with best offer. I'm going to. Like it's going to be up there first. Suzanne Veller says, great information. I love your attention to detail. Thank you so much. Oreo Kid says, I want to stop by and show love, buddy. Thanks. All right, man. Thanks a lot, dude. That's awesome. Anything Chippewa. I just sold an engineer boot for 100. That's from Krillin876. Everyone's saying I'm lying about Austin sucking so bad. It is definitely the worst thrift town on earth. Like you can't make any money in Austin. Like honestly, if you're gonna come to Austin, you got to be a hippie. That's what everyone knows Austin for. You cannot make any money here. All right. So the last thing I found today happened to be the first item that I found in a garage sale. The last item I found today happened to be the very first item I found at a thrift store that I walked into after I was doing work at a coffee shop. So this is a proximity game kind of thing. Like I could have gone home, could have just like, you know, done more work and everything like that, but I'm really close to a Goodwill, and I decided, you know what, in my head, I'm going to dedicate 45 minutes to going to 3 thrift stores. Okay, so I went to a Goodwill, Salvation Army, and another Goodwill. So, and I was already in the north part of Austin, so like the transit time to that and back, I don't factor into my like eBay. Like this just happens to be close to the gym. I run in a very tight circle most of the week, and I start in the gym, right, which is about 8 miles from my house, right? So 8 miles down the freeway to the gym. I get out of the gym, I do some work at a coffee shop. Then after the coffee shop, I do X, which could be 1 or it could be 2 hours of thrifting, 3 to maybe 4 times a week, probably closer to 3. And then on the weekends, the garage selling, all that, I roll that into my eBay time. Any amount of research, I roll into my eBay time. The shipping, since everything I do is pre-boxed anyway, I don't count that because it just takes 2 seconds to pull it, to, you know, put measurements in. Not a huge deal. So, you know, this still, I want to paint a picture like the way that my days go. Like most people are like, I got to thrift all day to find amazing things. It's not true. You know, you really want to go to close places, to places that you're already close to. Like, so if you're going to a gym or you're going to a coffee shop or you're going to, you know, go get your car worked on, dude, like take a bike with you on the back of your rack and go thrifting like while your car's in the shop, for example. You got to start thinking on those kind of lines, because if you just go out to thrift, then all that time is added into your thrift time, and that must be factored in the end of the project. Whatever project you might be adopting, you have to look at your time and you have to ask yourself every single month or week, is this worth it? Okay, is this worth it? Am I getting paid what I think I'm worth? All right, and if you're watching my channel, I'm real big about getting paid as much or not more than, you know, than what you're worth, right? You might think I'm worth X. Like I'm basically showing you how to get more than that. So here's the first thing I found at a thrift store today, and thought it was really cool. It was actually on one of those rollout truck buggy bin things that come out and then they kind of disperse it to the rest of the store from that one point. So I really do think if I was to have been there 20 minutes later, like this wouldn't have been there. So it's cool that it's there. And in fact, when I did pay for it, the lady was like, how the hell is this not an auction? And she pointed to the auction case, and I looked with her, and there were 2 sealed Monopoly games in there. So somehow this one cruised under the radar. Someone stickered it with a $7.99 price tag, right? And it happened to just be on the bin thing that rolled out. I picked it up immediately. I've sold this thing before for around 30 bucks. This was like 5 years ago. I've sold one of these electronic banking monopolies before, and it was used, right? So not a big deal. I hustled like 10 or 15 monopolies from a garage sale. This was one of them. I got all these different editions and all this random stuff. I do remember distinctly hustling this one. But anyways, I scanned this one immediately, and this one on Amazon FBA is selling for around $119 after the fees and everything like that. Cuts a check for about $97 with a 248K rank in toys. Now you might be thinking that's pretty damn high. 248 in toys is probably going to be somewhere between 1 and 5 or 6 months to sell, in my opinion. Like, it's somewhere around there. It could be as quick as 1 week. You just never know. Like, if I get a semi-competitive price and I get right under the only person that's in the market, I might be able to get, it might. There's just really no telling. I just know that when I look at 248K rank in toys, like, typically, like, my mind's thinking this thing's somewhere between that 2 and 4 month kind of, like, okay, like the longest I would ever have to wait, something like 4 months. Not a big deal. If I was to tell you that, hey man, you could put $8 on the ground right now, come back 4 months from now, and there's gonna be 97 bucks on the ground, would you do it? That's essentially all that's going on here, okay? Whether it's mid-tail, long-tail, or whatever, that's essentially what's going on, right? This is probably, I think 248K is probably top 10 or 15% in toys, so that's pretty good. It's not too bad. Anyways, that's what's going on in my head. Simple little, trade right there. I put $8 on the ground, come back, pick up 97. Time frame estimated between 2 and 4 months. I definitely had to do it. Now I could probably flip this thing on eBay. Not probably, almost certainly I could flip this thing on eBay for 60 to 80 because they're all selling for 60 and 80 in sealed condition. But that's not what I'm doing. So I could do that, and I might, no, I'm not going to do it. Like, it's going to go to Amazon. There's just no sense in, it could be a one and done on Amazon. This makes no sense. It's the perfect candidate for something for Amazon. So just saying, if I didn't have Amazon as an avenue, then that would still go with my Road to 200 philosophy, and it's a perfect item to pick up. So anyways, so did I scan it? Okay, so I scanned it with both apps. Clearance Ninja says, do you scan it with the Amazon app and the eBay app? I actually scanned it with both. And I don't know if you knew this, but if you get to the search function on the eBay app and then you click the top part, it says scan with barcode or scan with image or something like that. And you can actually scan with a barcode and it'll bring you the entire market of what's active on eBay at the current moment. And if you want to see what's sold, you have to go to filter and all this kind of stuff. Filter, new, sold items, sort by highest first. And that's all you do. So it's pretty easy. But then if you look at it on FBA, there's like really no competition. It just makes sense. Like, that's where I want to risk my money more. So anyways, oh wow. So Rhonda W says, yesterday I found a Scrabble Onyx edition like new. Onyx, is that which edition is that? I want to say Onyx is the darker one. Anyways, if you're looking at some of these editions, like there's not really much more and higher than the Franklin Mint ones, I think, when it comes to Scrabble or Monopoly. A lot of these are going to have, is it 18 karat or 10 karat, something like that, gold plated pieces, and it's crazy. I seem to find one of those every year and a half or so, and they're typically from yard sales and garage sales and estate sales. But when it comes to video games, like, I mean, not video games, but actual board games, like that's really like the pinnacle, or these wooden sets that kind of look like a Crosley AM/FM CD player. You know how they make those Crosley ones that look like jukeboxes, or they make a Crosley one look like a World War II radio? Well, they do make Scrabble games, Monopoly games. What else kind of games? I don't know of any more than that. Those are the two main ones. But they make them in like these really super awesome, like wood cabinet looking things with gold pieces, and the Scrabble board like rotates and everything. It's like mega awesome. So definitely looked at that kind of stuff up. And the only reason I know about that is because I researched it. My brother told me about it too. And of course we find it at a garage sale, and then I hustle it, and I get experience behind the wheel on that. And then it's like, all right, cool. And then one good hustle leads you to research all the other ones. And so that's how it kind of goes. But to really chase that home run is the essence of reselling, really. And that's what keeps you in the game, is like, are these home runs. And that's the reason why Road to 200 is really important. It's like trying to get home runs like nearly every single day. And a home run is something that makes 100% sense to you and your financial condition that you are in right now, your predicament, whatever you want to call it. Not a predicament, that's usually a problem, but however you value your risk and your money, that's just apply the road to 200 philosophy to that. I think it's really important, because I think you'll figure out that it's way more fun, and you'll start to feel like you're actually running a business. And then at the end, if it doesn't work, which is nearly impossible for it not to work, but if it doesn't work, you can definitely go back to what's like a churn and burn, which is just churning stuff out and burning your time out, which is what I see a lot of people doing. And I just don't think that's right. I don't think the people even want that deep down inside, quite honestly. But they find themselves in those places because they don't allow themselves to have extra time to study on the things that do matter and that do sell better. They're afraid of donating things. They're afraid of just, if I donate, then I lose the money outright, which is, yeah, it's true. But, if you donate, you clear your mind too, which is cool. So let me get to the update section of Road to 200 real quick, because that's definitely one of the parts of the video that I want to talk about. Today, when I was at a coffee shop, I told myself yesterday, so on the Road to 200 show yesterday, we talked about how I was going to go, and I had not a predicament, but I had a decision to make, and that was, I want 200 quality, amazing listings in my store. And I know that as of yesterday night, which is funny because I had 155 active yesterday night. And then by the time The Bachelor was over and I was watching it, I had 152. So I sold 3 items yesterday. And I was looking at my items, and I just knew, and this is in the back of my head, something has to be done with these X items they just don't conform to the strategy whatsoever, but they're sitting in my store right now. So I know a lot of you guys and gals out there in the same predicament. You're like, oh man, this sounds like a great strategy. I want to do it. But what do I do with this inventory that I have that doesn't conform with this strategy? Well, one of the things is I know a couple things, like in a couple months, I don't want to see that inventory. I don't want it to be there. I would much rather be chasing this Road to 200 thing, starting at 80 items or 100 items, rather than starting at 152 items, right? For example, and going, okay, I want to go to 200 from now. And then when I get to 200, I realize the problem hasn't solved itself, right? So the problem is that there are some items right there that don't belong in the strategy. And for me to really do this and give it my best shot, I want those items out of my store, right? So that's where the decision comes in. Do I purge them out one and done? It means just donate them. Or do I lower them drastically and just punch them out and get the added benefit of getting some feedback, things like that. So, and plus that's just added benefits of eBay going, hey, yeah, man, this store right here is just, is selling things left and right. That's cool. So there's always, if you were to build eBay or have this business of Amazon, and you were to run it, you would partner up more and boost more listings on the people that are more active. When their stores are just firing on it all the time, you're going to lift their listings up, because that person has done a good job, and B, they are pairing up with you. They see value in your product. So you naturally would be like, all right, let's get them up a little bit. So I find that if I have a hiatus with eBay, and this is just a casual observation, but if I have a hiatus with eBay, a vacation, right, for example, or something like that, and then all of a sudden I resume my listings, yeah, I get some things sold. But if I have a hiatus for any reason, and it's just lack of me going to eBay, or I'm just stale, I'm not running sales or something, I realize that my sales not come to a screeching halt, but they just slow down considerably. So that I don't like, right? And that just goes, to me, that just proves my point that a constant amount of attention to something is almost like watering a plant, right? If eBay is the plant, you have to go up to the plant and water it every single day. You want to water it with, getting back to the people that are messaging you. You want to water it with running sales, and you want to run it with putting listings up nearly every single day. I don't mess with it on the weekends too much, but anyways, yeah, so that's kind of my philosophy behind it. Is there any concrete proof that works? No, but that's essentially how I believe any business would work, right? If I have a business and I want to pair up with somebody, I'm going to pair up with somebody that shows, that they're capable of running a business, that they're honest, and that they don't have any crappy feedback, and they're not scamming people, and they're just trying to put listings up that are decent products. Those are the people. If I had built eBay, I would be partnering with those people. I would build the algorithm to raise those people's things to be seen before anyone else's things. So anyway, so Joe Molina says, I think you answered your own question, blow it out. Yeah, I'm going to not pick that. I'm going to blow it out in about 2 or 3 weeks if this stuff doesn't sell in 2 or 3 weeks. So I actually thought I had like 20 or 25 items. It's actually closer to probably 35, 40 that I just don't want to have. So I'm going to take it out. G-Shock says, hey, Chris, how do you mark your boxed items to find later? Inventory numbers? No. So with 200 items, with 152 items, I have general areas on 2 Gorilla racks plus other racks that I've built in my garage. General areas of where things are. So like there's a shoe section, and then above the shoe section is typically the boot section, which can't fit in the shoe section because the boxes are just all kinds of different weights, right? So the shoe section is typically the USPS shoe box, which you can get for free, and they're all neatly stacked and they all look all cool. And then above that is just some hodgepodge, just bigger boxes that typically have boots, work boots, hiking boots, anything that's a longer type boot, cowboy boot. And then towards the other sections, I have random goods, I have for anything very large that's closer to the floor, I just have a large section of just stacked up boxes. I think there's 8 there right now that are just larger goods. And then I have 2 bins that are for first class things typically. And so those things are prepackaged. They're in first class mailers, or something that's like a clothing and can be like molded in, does not belong into a box, for example. It'll find its way into that section. And that's good enough. I don't ever find myself super searching hard for anything, and that's good enough for me. If I sat there and I'm like, dude, where is this item? And I'm 5 minutes into looking for it, that is a valuable 5 minutes that I cannot afford to repeat like that. So I have to make sure that it's done very well. It works for me. And I can honestly say that pre-boxing is the better way to go, but you need the room to do it. So if you don't have the room to do it, yeah, don't mess with it. But most people have the room to do it. You just have to start to think build high. Shelving. A lot of other people that deal with much higher inventory numbers have to do these like masking tape systems with coded things. And especially if you're a clothing reseller, you have to do hang tags and get kind of crazy. I feel as if at that point you're really working in your business as opposed to working on your business, which is exactly the mentality of Road to 200. It's where you actually have fun and you work on the business more than anything. So that's what I want to do. I think that's the right thing to do for me in my predicament or my situation. So, and I'm pretty sure that everybody probably shares the same wants. They all want to work on another income stream, or they all want to do something else. But they don't have the time. So that's the main thing behind Road to 200, is to optimize the business, eke out as much as I can for 16 or 20 hours, and then work on something else. So, okay. Jockme says, hey, thanks, Bonafide, you're the man. I just found one of those Monopoly electronic banking for $5, setting up a time to buy with the buyer now. Make sure it's new, okay? So I don't know if the used one, I sold one like 5 years ago that was used for $30. I don't know if that used market's even there at the same amount. But anyways, Adam A517 says, hello, Chris and everyone. What's going on? So let me answer a couple more things about G-Shock's question here. Hey, Chris, do you mark your box items to find later? Yes, every one of my boxes has a Sharpie thing on the side that's kind of like a code. Like I don't want to put Nike Metcon II size, whatever, men's training shoe. Like, no, I'm probably gonna put Metcon II. And that way, if someone is at the USPS and they want to steal packages and stuff, they might just see Metcon 2, be like, what the hell is that? If I put Nike Metcon 2, that's a different story. They might decide to pull the box, steal it, whatever. But if I put Metcon 2 M12 or whatever, it becomes a code, right? And so at that point, a lot of my things are coded out, and to where I know what the hell's in there. Like gray GRY Vask, I know, is a pair of gray Vask boots, for example. Like GRY Vask 12 is a pair of size 12 men's Vask gray. So I just know that. So anyways, that's what I do. Yeah, I definitely Sharpie the side of every box. Malu Jimmy, who I've hustled with in real life about 4 times now, maybe more. Been blowing out stale listings, 6 months or more, 99-cent auctions. Wow, get feedback and more activity to other listings. Awesome, Malu. Like, I really think highly of Malu Jimmy. He's, I definitely consider him one of my friends, and he's a really good hustler in real life to to pair up with. He's a lot of fun. If you just want someone in your car that just wants to cut up and crack jokes with you all day long, like Mallow Jimmy is definitely that guy. Like, he's really cool. Clearance Ninja says, this is why I keep a SKU on a spreadsheet. Everyone should have spreadsheets when you're dealing with eBay and this Road to 200 thing. I'm still keeping spreadsheets, or the same style of spreadsheets that I have from back in 2015. It's just a Google document that records the item, what I paid for it, where I bought it, the date I bought it, the date it sold, and the avenue it's sold on. So it's pretty quick. And then if something gets returned, I will highlight the entire sell as red. At the end of the year, I write off all my returns. So, or I write off all my donations if I have recorded them properly on a sheet. So yeah, I will write those off. So, okay, cool. Oh, neat. So Ryan Graper says, I just picked up a pair of Menani ankle boots because of a tip from you. Cool. I'm selling them for 150 used. Awesome. Any more questions? Did I go to CP's wedding? I did not go to CP's wedding. He didn't even invite me. Yes, that's not good. No, like I have met his wife, and she is awesome. She was at the green room meetup number 3. Yeah, so she stayed at my house, I think one of the nights, or maybe 2 of the nights. Yeah, so when we come to town, all the admins stay at my place, and so it gets kind of like hectic and fun at the same time. What's up, Aaron Kluge? Good to see you. Got people from the green room. If you're from the green room, please say what's up in the feed. Got 96 viewers in the house. You know, I didn't even ask yesterday to hit the like button after the video was done. There were 55 likes with 0 dislikes. That was really awesome. So thank you so much for that. Girl on Fire, do I ever pick up shoes if it has the insole missing? Yeah, you know, I do, actually. And typically when I do, for some reason, it happens to usually be Hoka 1 ones. I don't know why, but a lot of Hoka 1, I think I know why, because when you buy a pair of Hoka 1 running shoes, trail running shoes, whatever, they come with 2 different soles. So one, the sole is a little bit more minimalist and one's more cushion oriented. And so a lot of people, maybe before they donate the shoe, they just pull the sole because they know they like it a lot and they put it into their other shoe. I don't know, but would I hustle a shoe that has no insole? I have before. And if it screams profitable, all you got to do is just say, like, it's missing an insole. But it's typically for, I wouldn't hustle a cowboy boot that didn't have an insole, because then it gets kind of crazy. You really have to have those things glued down, everything, you know, because they're essentially nails on the bottom side of a cowboy boot. And so you definitely want the insoles there. That said, I think it's really important for dark, longer boots for you to really take a look inside and stick your hand in there and get bitten by a scorpion. No, but no, really stick your hand in there and feel around to make sure nothing's actually like delaminating or peeling off. And I did this. I remember I was looking at a pair of Hunter boots in Durango, Colorado. I was thrifting there for a second. This was back in October, I want to say. Went to a thrift store. It was awesome. It was off of Main Street. Subterranean thrift store too, which was like really cool. Anyways, so I go in there and it's like freaking racks on racks on racks. It's mostly women oriented, but there's a tiny little guy section, whatever. But anyways, I'm cruising around. I didn't find anything at the guy section, but I go to the women's section and there's like 3 pairs of Hunter boots. And I'm like, holy crap, Hunter boots, like that's great. 2 were accurately priced. The 3rd pair was like really low. And I was like, whoa, I've got to buy this thing. I got super excited. I was like, oh my God, like this is awesome. And then I got to talking to the lady, and the lady's like, just before you, buy those, make sure you put your hand in there and feel, the delamination thing. And I was like, huh? I put my hand in there, and sure enough, like inside the inner lining had like come apart. You would have never known, like if you hadn't stuck your hand in there. So like, very, very important. She did save me. I didn't buy the things. I did take a picture of that and whatever, and I put it in the green room, just as a heads up to people. So, you have to do adequate checkups. It's very important. And yeah, so do I hustle things without insoles? If I can clearly see the shoe is an amazing brand, whatever, and it's missing an insole, if the brand is good enough, it can drive the price without the insole. It will cost a little bit less because the insole is not there, but typically people that want super quality things are gonna just buy some Dr. Scholl's insoles or just move one of their insoles from another shoe to that shoe. Adam A517 says, now that you mentioned that statue, I keep looking at it. There's the statue. Hey, look at this instead. Look at this super sweet shirt. How about that? Mark Swenson, I bought a pair of Vask hiking boots today at Salvation Army for $5 because of you. Thank you, Bonafide Hustler. Awesome. I actually bought a pair of Vask Sundowner mint condition Skywalk Sundowner boots last week for 13 or 15 bucks. I got a dude. I got some offers and stuff, but and they're right around 100 bucks already. But I'm pretty much denying them. I'm really trying to get about 120, 140 for these. So, but yeah, they're super sweet, and they're Gore-Tex on this. Oh, they're like vintage looking Gore-Tex, like super cool. And that was just from popping into a Goodwill on like a Sunday after we were downtown, like having a coffee, beautiful day. Could have just went home, decided like, hey, and my wife knows by now, like, hey, I'm gonna stop by Goodwill, and she doesn't say a thing. She actually gets out of the car, goes there, looks for Lululemon garments and whatever random stuff. And yeah, she's on board with it too. My wife makes plenty of money. Like, she really doesn't need to be doing any of that. She makes a lot, but she sees that there's a huge potential with buying thrifted items that you're going to use anyway in real life. It's just extra money. You just take the money you save and you can do whatever you want with it. So when people complain like, I can't go on vacation, or I can't do this, or can't make my car payment or whatever, it's like, dude, hustle harder, hustle better things, work on your business. And anything that you're going to buy in real life, like, really try to draw that out as long as possible and get it for a better deal with a coupon online, shop Amazon Prime, or wait it out and find it at a garage sale or a Goodwill or something like that. Like, wait it out and take that money that you saved and you can put it in some like savings jar thing. And before you know it, you'll have your vacation. You'll have your extra house payment a year, car payment, whatever you want. You will have those things, but you have to start thinking thrift everything, right? Yeah, it's really important. Adam A517 says, yeah, use that to buy a new car or go on vacation. Vacations are so important in the resale game, and a lot of people don't. Either they're not showing pictures or talking about it, which is one. It could be one of the reasons. But I find that the resellers that I look up to the most, and the ones that seem to be the happiest and the most in shape and all that kind of stuff, are resellers that pride themselves on getting out and like going outside all the time and getting these vacations put into your books, even if they're cheap, whatever, just lining up vacations like every quarter. It's really, really important. You would think in a corporate setting, they always preach the work-life balance and everything like that. And it couldn't be further from the truth. You will absolutely burn out if you do not have vacation. And even your weekends, you should treat as a mini vacation. So a lot of times on the weekend, I am semi-unreachable just because I'm just, having fun with my wife and getting outdoors and playing with my dogs. And I think that's really important. But I do go to garage sales every Saturday morning because it's really good time with my brother that I get to spend with him. It's fun. It allows me to look for some of the items that I know I want to buy soon for full price online. But I'm like, I don't want to do that. So I go to garage sales for that reason. But I go to garage sales for the more obvious reason, which is to make money. And it's cheddar weather at garage sales every single Saturday. So I can't break that, only because whatever I trade for that thing better be really, really worth it. So if I go on a mountain bike ride on a Saturday morning, for example, and from start to finish, it could be as much as 2 hours, it could be as long as 3 hours, sometimes even 4. If you decide to get beers and stuff with your friends afterwards, 4 hours in the morning. And on a decent garage sale day, $500, like, easy to make. On a really good day on peak season, you're looking at between $1,000 and probably like $1,500. So I got to start asking myself those kind of questions naturally. Like, is this mountain bike ride to me worth $500? Like, for example, I have to start playing that scenario in my head. Would I pay $500 to ride with my friends today? And the answer, you can figure it out pretty quickly, what I decide. So, and that's the reason why I still garage sale every Saturday morning. I don't sleep in, because my sleep, I wouldn't pay $500 for either. I just put it into context, and I'm like, what could be possibly worth more than that? It has to be something crazy going on in the family, someone getting married, okay. But yeah, those are the things that go on in my head, and those are the things that should go on in your head too. So if you're just kind of slacking around and you have an amazing time with garage sales at your disposal every Saturday, even Friday or Sundays, shame on you for not going to those things. And if whatever you're picking instead, you have to understand that you are literally paying that amount for those things. So anyways, Joe Molina Says, wait, hold on. Let me a couple things here. Adam A517. Hey Chris, when is your thrift off with Casey? It's more than likely going to be a week from next Wednesday. Next Wednesday we are planning to have Rally Roots and College Picker battle for the thrift battle. Tomorrow is going to be just a different kind of show. Not a thrift battle tomorrow. Aaron Kluge says, is that an L or an M you are wearing? I don't know what that means. An L or an M? I don't know what that means. Headset maybe? I don't know. Let me know, Aaron. Joe Molina, what's the coolest thing you've bought from a yard sale that you kept for yourself? It's a good question, because a lot of times when I keep something, that scenario starts playing in my head like, okay, I've essentially bought this thing for this much money, right? I don't ever keep really cool items or super cool items for a long time, because the scenario starts playing in my head like, this is worth X now. Am I willing to have bought this for this much now? And so I guess to answer that question, I'm trying to think of all the items that I love to use. God, like what have I kept? I don't keep many things. As of recently, the Wii U that I bought a month and a half ago for 80 bucks with like a crap ton of games. And yeah, that was a good deal, because I found myself playing Mario Kart 8 all the time. Like I like it a lot. Mario Kart 8 is literally like just light years beyond any of the Mario Karts. It's such a fun game. It's just so good. Other games that came with it were Super Mario World, Splatoon, bunch of other random Star Wars Legos games, some other ones. But I like Splatoon a little bit. I can't get into it for some reason, but I did like it. But yeah, Mario Kart 8, it was just so easy for my neighbors to pick up and learn power sliding and all these really cool tricks. It's just such a good game. It's so fun. Something you could pick up and play 30 minutes of or 20 minutes of and be done with it. I really like it. So that was probably my best pickup lately, has been the Wii U. I really enjoy it. But I'm looking to all the things that are in my garage and all these things, and none of them are really thrifted at a garage sale. Like I try to sell all those things. I really do. I'm thinking about my bike collection and all this stuff, and all those are just, they've been sourced different ways. Craigslist. You know, some of the things I mess with, I had to buy these full price, but drones, I have too. Yeah, I mean, almost everything I get from a garage sale, you know, as of recently, there are two things. Okay, so there are two bags that I bought at a sample sale, which you have to be really in the know to like get to a sample sale. So you find those through Facebook sometimes, or friends say like, oh, I work for Volcom or Rip Curl, or my friend that works with Billabong is doing a sample sale, or sometimes local bike shops will have sample sales, and like all these reps from like these companies will come together with their little like easy up awning tents, and they will sell sample grade material, or maybe blems, or items that were just seasonal that really never made it to fruition, concept type wear, or items, things like that. And so I found myself at a sample sale for the brand Marmot. And what other brand was there? It was a lot of Marmot stuff, like a ton. There's some Solomon stuff, but yeah, it was mainly Marmot. And so I found myself there. I had bought a lot of stuff from this one dude in the past at a garage sale at the convention center, and we exchanged information, got on his email list, and he emails me about this sample sale. I go there, and it's like in a CrossFit gym, and there's just you know, I was about to say it, but you know, there was stuff everywhere around this place. Like I walked everywhere, and like you see the CrossFit stuff in the background, but like there's just stuff everywhere, right? New hats, new shirts, new pants, new everything, like just things everywhere. And then there was these two kind of semi-used bags onto the corner that were Marmot duffel bags that I use all the time. Like when I go on trips and crazy trips and stuff like that, I use these Marmot duffel bags. They can get beat up. They got like really awesome protection on the sides. And I got them for like 10 bucks a piece at the sample sale. And those duffel bags, if I was to put them on eBay, I'd probably sell for like 60 or 100 bucks, something like that. So yeah, those are really good. I like those a lot. It doesn't just come to my head when I think of amazing things I got from garage sales. I'll tell you probably one of the most amazing items that I did find, wasn't in a garage sale, but one that I have in my collection is a 1987 GT Timberline vintage mountain bike that I bought for 10 bucks. I invested about 6 hours of my time getting all the rust off. And to me, it is like my pride and joy bicycle. It's probably arguably worth somewhere between the vicinity of 500 and 1,000 bucks, right? But to me, it's just irreplaceable because I designed it a certain way. I didn't design it, but I put I customize it a certain way. And it's just, I put my expertise behind it and what I knew about mountain biking and vintage mountain biking. I put it to that bike, and then when I take that bike to bike stores or I take it to bike swap meets, like people lose their mind when I see that bike. They're like, dude, that's the nicest like single speed mountain bike cruiser I've ever seen. Like that is the nicest bike. So I really feel good about that because it's a Goodwill find for 10 bucks. I spent some time getting the rust off. I customized it a certain way with items that were thrifted. And it just, people notice it. They just, the only brand new piece on that bike that I know of are the cork grips that were dipped in coffee just to match the Brooks saddle that was from a thrifted bicycle. So, you know, I feel pretty good about that. But that's probably my pride and joy. That's the one. Kenneth James Clark, do I mod the Wii before I sell it? No, if I do sell the Wii, I'm going to sell it just as is. Yeah. Thrift Lord, this is such a good comment. I'm so with you on this one. Waiting for the new Red Dead Redemption. I am 100% with you. I'm going to probably have to buy another system just to play that game because I know they're not going to issue it out for 360. But I don't have an Xbox One or PS4 or PS Pro. My brother has a PS4. He lives right next to me. I don't get into crazy gaming. I get into gaming where it takes 15 minutes or 30 minutes to play a game, and that's cool. I don't get into online gaming, but the one game I have spent a ton of time playing in the past and can really smoke up the hours is Red Dead Redemption on Xbox 360. It's a phenomenal game. If you've never played it, to this day, it still holds up. It's still amazing. And they have like Undead Nightmare where you fight zombies and stuff. But anyways, Red Dead Redemption is such a good game. It is my favorite Xbox 360 game, right behind this one called Alan Wake. Okay. Oh, Clarence Ninja says, I would have kept the flintlock musket, but that's just me. Funny thing is I still have that on my, I still have it. I need to renew my armslist.com listing. Damn, I haven't done it. I got an offer for like 160 bucks on it. I said yes to it. And then the guy like just didn't contact me after that, which sucks. And he was from a town that was like nearby. But I did find not a replica, like, well, okay. It was a replica of a vintage British tower lock flintlock pistols, tower flintlock pistol, a working gun at a garage sale. Like I found it. I'm sitting there playing with it on one of my YouTube feeds and clicking it around and stuff like that, like looking in the barrel like a dumbass. But this thing was like a real gun. Not like a blunderbuss type thing, but the same concept. Flintlock, stuff like the, you know, the powder down there, and then you put the ball or whatever, and then you click the flintlock thing and boom, the thing goes flying out. So I didn't know what was in it, and I was sitting here on a video, on live video, like looking at it like an idiot, like this is a replica, and yeah, that was. I look back at that moment, I'm like, that was so stupid. So why the hell that thing is at a garage sale, I don't know, but I think I spent like $1 on it. So anyway, Adam A517 question. Hey Chris, can you get rust off a bike chain? I think it's only 50 bucks, 50 to 60 bucks resale. It's not worth changing the chain. No, it won't be. The easiest way to get rust off a bike chain is to use your two hands, WD-40 the entire bike chain, and start pivoting the bike chain up and down and twisting it like this, like that, just a little bit, not too much. If you twist it too much, it bends, right? But you want to, you know, kind of loosen it up like this way, then up and down, and loosen any links that you can find. Usually if you put the WD-40, you come back 10 minutes later, then you start cranking the pedals around, it'll show you where the stiff links are, and you can unstiffen those just with your hands. And that typically is an easy way to take a rusted chain and not replace it, but still make it operational. I did find another rifle at a Goodwill one time. I think it was $10 as well. This was 5 years ago or something. I found an actual rifle at a Goodwill. I'm not even kidding. I think, was it bolt action? I'm not 100% sure. I forgot what I did with it. I know I sold it though. I think it was not bolt action, but the one that splits down like this. So like when you click something and it splits in the middle, whatever that's called, it was that thing. Question, what video game have you made the most money on? It's a good question. There was probably NCAA 14 back when I hustled it with FBA in 2014. I was buying them for like, what, like 15 bucks and selling them anywhere between 65 and like $100, something like that. So that's probably what it was. But those were new from Target. The flippin' FNG says, Red Dead has zapped hundreds of hours of my life. I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Minecraft, no, I don't play Minecraft, but I do like watching sometimes Minecraft videos. Okay, Who donates rifles to Goodwill? LOL. I don't know. A slip break shotgun is what Joe Molina says. Yeah, it was whatever the kind of shotgun with a little click and it like folds down and you can top load it. Like that's what I found. But it was a single one though. It wasn't a double barrel. Yeah. So anyways, oh yeah, it's a shotgun then. I guess it's not a rifle. I guess it was a shotgun. Sorry about that. I guess that's pretty much it. All right, cool. My shirt size, large or medium t-shirt. My shirt size this is an extra large, but I'm also on a bulk. So I just, if someone's looking at me and they've met me in real life, they're like, okay, I want that Cheddar Weather shirt. I'm currently weighing in at around 202, 204 pounds. Yeah, and I don't plan on being like this for very much longer. I'm going to probably start cutting this week or next week for my summer cut. But this is an extra large shirt. I think it was dried hot many times and it's still kind of big. Like it's nice and tight right here, but it's flowy right through here. I do have this version in large as well in blue, and that one is considerably tighter. So but if you've met me in real life, you know that I'm also not a small dude, like kind of on the bigger side. So, and my shoulders are definitely broad. So, and you can see that's the Bonafide vein there of death. So yeah, this thing is pretty much on its way out. Like this one stitch is probably going to break in like the next 5 minutes, but hey, sorry. Okay. Question, how much to join the green room? We have two options. We have a $200 a year option, which is easily the best option. And if you subscribe to our email list, which you can get down below, first link down below, there are occasional sales in that email list. Like I think there's like 2 or 3 in our sequence. So if you want to get a deal in the green room, that's where you're going to probably try to find it. Outside of that, it's $200 a year or $50 a month. I really discourage people on the $50 a month one, but it allows people to get in, check it out if they like it, which sometimes occurs within 2 months, 3 months. Then they realize, okay, I don't want to do this $50 a month thing anymore. Like I would rather just buy the yearly thing. So that's what I'm just kind of saying is if you're lucky enough to get the yearly one, not lucky enough, but if you're lucky enough to find it on sale, get it in on that. The sales range between I think 150 and 175 for the year, something like that. I don't control the sales. It's more of like Steve Rakin's thing. But yeah, the green room's fun. It's a good time. And once you're in there, we have a special meetup that goes on every single year. If you can make your way to Austin, Texas in the first week of June of 2018, that's when our meetup is this year. It's gonna be a lot of fun. This will be our 5th meetup. And it's a place where resellers just come and network with each other and experience Austin, Texas for what it is. And there's just an itinerary for 4 days straight, sometimes even 5. And it's a lot of fun. There's a seminar, a learning seminar. So you definitely some real educational type stuff that we do there. We do live thrifting, live garage sale caravan. You might have seen it in previous videos. And we have a main event, which is at a ranch in Georgetown, Texas on the last day. So yeah, we try to really give people like the ultimate vacation experience where you can, be with like-minded people. We're even going to be doing some workouts in the morning on this next one. So it's going to be awesome. We're just going to attack it from all fronts just because that's how we like to live our lives. Like we're not all about just reselling, like nothing but reselling. Like we don't do that. So we're not going to pretend like that's the way it is. We're going to definitely show people a good time in Austin, Texas. And clearly at the 5th year of a meetup, I mean, I'm pretty sure that it's going to happen the same way, if not better than last year. And that's our ultimate kind of goal, is to outdo last year's meetup, which is hard because the unanimous, I guess, outlook on last year's was just that it was so much fun and like met a bunch of people. People felt like they were leaving summer camp. Like they just loved it so much. And we have to be able to top that, which is tough, but I have some ideas. And so we should be able to get there. Joe Molina says, do the math. $200 in the green room is like $16 a month. You could totally blow that on 2 craft beers at a bar. You're totally true. All right. So there's some really good comments coming in here. Okay, so this is pretty much it. I was planning on being on the show for like only really 40 minutes, but I clearly went over an hour. So I hope you guys enjoyed the content. If you're down with Road to 200, all right, and the concept of Road to 200, put a comment down below. I might be able to get to it, but I'd like to read all my comments. I don't get to all of them, but put a comment down below. Like, get the energy behind the movement and start typing it out. Like, yeah, I'm all about it. I've had comments in the past couple days on my Facebook, like, dude, the Road to 200 concept's so cool. Like, I'm totally doing it. This is what I did so far. Like, I went to a thrift store and donated all this stuff. I feel like my mind is cleared and I'm ready again. Like, however you attack it, just put action behind it, even in the form of a comment, and then do something about it. Like, do something about your business and revamp it and get it back to where it's fun and where it's actually like paying you money, you know. Like, so anyways, think about that kind of stuff. When I do these videos, I would always appreciate a like button. So if you get one chance, 1 second, you don't want to put a comment, you don't want to take any action, but you want to show appreciation, just hit the like button. Really, I appreciate that a lot. And then watch further videos about Road to 200 for, you know, other finds that I get. And for completed stuff, I'm probably going to put that stuff in the green room, a walkthrough of like why something sold for this much, or Road to 200, kind of like what sold and why. So that's probably going to be in the green room. I think that's part of my strategy, is just to put that stuff more for those people. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. Hit me with a like button. I'll see you on the next Bonafide Hustler video, which should be tomorrow. We definitely have an awesome show going down on my channel tomorrow evening, so definitely check that out. I really thank you guys for spending some time with me. I'll see you later, okay? Bye.